Boise State is the 3 seed in the college football playoffs is one of the biggest jokes I've ever heard. Boise State is not going to even be able to compete in their first round of the college football playoffs. They're more than likely going to end up playing Penn State. They may end up playing an SMU team. Regardless of who they play, Boise State is going to get beat by 14 plus points. They don't have the athletes at every position to compete with these other college football playoff teams. They truly are a one-trick pony in Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty's great, but if you tell those Penn State guys that they're going to hand the ball to him 30 times a game, I guarantee you they're going to wrap Genty up. He's not going to look anything like the Heisman campaign that he's put together because Genty's going to end up playing Big Ten guys. If Ashton Genty plays against Big Ten guys in the college football playoffs, he's not even going to get 100 yards. None of the jukes he does is going to work. None of his breaking tackles is going to work. Nothing that they draw up for him out of the backfield is going to work. He's not going to be able to go out and catch a pass. Nothing. They are going to wrap him up and lock him down. The reason that I say that is because every Big Ten athlete is just as athletic as Ashton Genty. Those guys are NFL talent at some positions, especially when you look at Penn State's defense. Nick Singleton is going to get a hold of Ashton Genty, and he's not going to let go. Ashton Genty in the Mountain West Conference has not played anybody like Penn State. So when he goes against them in the college football playoffs, he's going to struggle mightily. Georgia has a cakewalk to the national championship. We might as well just hand them the trophy now because they're not going to play anybody in between now and the national championship. Their first round is a bye. Second round, Georgia's going to get to play either Notre Dame or Indiana. If they get the opportunity to play Indiana, they will quite literally 45 point them. They will beat them by 45 points, no joke about it. If they play Notre Dame, they're going to beat them by 21 points. Nonetheless, their first round playoff game is not going to be a contest whatsoever. Second round in the playoffs, they might get to play Boise State. A weak Boise State team is going to get embarrassed by Georgia. They will get embarrassed by Georgia. It's not going to be a game literally from the first snap. Georgia's offense is going to be able to march up and down the field, and their defense is going to shut Boise State's offense down because they have never ever seen talent like the guys on Georgia's roster. SEC football players pushing around Boise State guys is going to look like abuse. It is not going to look like a football game. After that game, Georgia's going to be in the national championship, likely playing a school like Oregon. I would say Oregon is the favorite to come out of the other side, but Georgia's side of the bracket is the weakest competition in the world. They will cakewalk every single game. They're going to go into the national championship fresh without really having a contest prior, and they're going to be in a much stronger position to go into the national championship dominant, healthy, and ready to win it all. Meanwhile, Oregon's going to have competition all along the college football playoffs because they're going to have to line up against Ohio State. That last game that Oregon and Ohio State played was a barn burner, and I expect this game to be nothing less than that. With that being said, Oregon's going to put their all into that game in terms of game planning, scheming. Their players are going to go all out, and even if they win, it's going to put them in a much more difficult position the following week because Ohio State's going to come to play them in a tight ball game. They're going to come to hit hard, and Oregon's really going to stand a test. Once Oregon beats Ohio State, they're either going to be playing Texas, Clemson, or Arizona State. If Oregon plays Arizona State, they will beat them by 45 points. There will be no contest. Big Ten football and Arizona State football are two completely different things. The kids are more talented, the kids are faster, bigger, stronger, and the kids were recruited at a different level to come play football. With that being said, I'm not saying Arizona State's not a good team. I am saying that Arizona State is not good enough to be in the college football playoffs. They don't deserve to be in the college football playoffs. Going 11-2 is great. That's fine and dandy and winning your conference title. But bringing that conference title up against a school like Oregon is going to be a wake-up call for you. That program's not ready to be in this position, and it's honestly setting Arizona State up for failure to even put them up against a Big Ten school like that. If I was Arizona State, I would have wished that I was the 13th ranked for the college football playoffs so that next year I could come back and recruit and say, hey guys, we almost have it, and we're almost a college football playoff program, and we almost made it. The fact that Arizona State has to actually compete in the college football playoffs is going to hurt them. It's going to be harder to recruit once kids realize that they're never going to be able to compete at that level. It's going to be tough to get guys to come to that school realizing, oh my gosh, even if we get in the college football playoffs, we're not going to be able to play anybody within 40 points. So those individual pockets of kids like Cam Scatterbo that are true stars are going to commit to other schools where they can actually compete in the playoffs. Arizona State making the college football playoffs is going to be worse for their program than it would have been for them to not make it at all.